Hey everybody, this is Chris Brown here again. As you can see, I'm still hanging out at the Yacht and Beach Club Resort here in Walt Disney World. It's very sunny and there's a cloud hiding the sun right now, so it feels really good. I can actually see myself in the camera this time. But again, what we've been doing throughout this video series is we've been sharing with you the results of $1.5 billion in research of what all the world's most successful businesses have in common. Now, what we're going to talk about in today's video is I'm going to share with you proof that here in America that the average small and medium-sized business owner is working an additional 6 hours more than they need to. So here's the question. Do you ever feel overwhelmed? Do you get, just have so many responsibilities that you're just kind of going crazy with it? I'm sure you do. A lot of small businesses have run very labor-intensive businesses. First they have to sell the service, and then they have to do the work, and then they have to sell the service, and then they have to do the work, right? And that cycle just kind of repeats over and over again. Now, a thing from Dun & Bradstreet, again, some research from Dun & Bradstreet showed that in 2009, I do have this report here, that in 2009 there were far more businesses that declared far more businesses that went out of business than declared bankruptcy, and that's just in 1 month. And so as we can see here, that money problems is not the only reasons why businesses go out of business and fail. It's also because of being burned out, just due to all the responsibilities attached to running your business. Now, here in America, what we do is we tend to work ourselves like a machine. We just keep running it and running it, doing it and doing it and doing it and running it and run of it. And our brain and our bodies have different cycles. And if we don't use those cycles appropriately, that is why we get overwhelmed. Now, many European countries really understand the key to productivity. Take, for instance, CNN News, or not CNN News, NBC News, excuse me, I almost misquoted myself. NBC News said of one European country that the average worker there works 25 hours per week, making an average of $42.67 and getting 35 paid days of vacation days per year. Now, the reason for that is they understand the key to productivity. They know things about productivity that most of us here in America don't know. And so by doing that, what that allows them to do is not only to become more productive, but it also helps them to make more money by working less hours. And we're going to help you to do the same thing. So we look at this, the average in that one European country, the average person is working 25 hours per week, making an average of $42.67. They're making like 3 times more than the average part-time worker does here in America. So again, they're able to make more money by working less hours by using these principles. Now, many years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Peter Drucker. He's a very famous business guru guy, very well known. He wrote a number of books, but one of his books is called The Effective Executive, and he talks about this. So again, our minds and our bodies have cycles that we go through. Kind of like, you've probably heard of REM when you sleep. So when you sleep, you go through these cycles. Well, when you're awake, you also go through these cycles. And if we don't utilize these cycles, we get overwhelmed. And so here's the cycle. And let me first explain why these cycles exist. Now, God created these principles in the universe. And there's this principle called quantum physics. Now, you might not understand quantum physics, and you don't have to understand it, but we do have to understand some of the basic principles of it. And you already know what quantum physics is. Once I explain this to you, you probably heard of the term of the 80-20 rule, okay? And anything that we do, we get 80% of our results and about 20% of our activity. When it comes down to your customers, you're making 80% of your money from about 20% of your customers. There's all of these different things. So the principle of this that is found in nature, quantum physics again, is that we get 80% of our results and 20% of our activity. So what many of these European countries did is they got rid of the 80% of the work that produces 20%, and they only had us do 20% of our activity. That gives them 80% of the results, and thus they can pay their employees an average of 3-4 times more than what we get paid here in America because of this. So here's the principle. This is what Peter Drucker said. He says that you're going to work anywhere between 90 minutes to about 2 hours. Okay, so work 90 minutes to about 2 hours, and then take at least a 30-minute break. And you want to get away from it. You want to de-stress yourself. Take a nap. Draw, do a hobby. Actually, knitting and repetitive motions is a great way to really reset your mind. Okay, and then after that 30-minute break, you go back to work for another 2 hours. So you work 2 hours, take a 30-minute break, work another 2 hours, take a 30-minute break. You might work another 2 hours, however long that you want to work it, but utilize the productivity that you have. Now, this is a thing that's called flow. This really gets into some really advanced stuff. We're not going to really get into that deep of stuff here right now, but this is called flows. Your mind goes through these different cycles, okay? And in flow, there was a company called the McKinsey Company, and they did a 10-year research on this. And they took people who were getting into what we call as flow, being at their most productive state, and they took their average workers, okay? And they took one group of people who worked 1 day a week. And on that 1 day a week, they were getting more work done than their other employees who were working 5 days a week. Then they took another group of people who worked 2 days a week, and they were actually doubling the productivity of those people who are working all week long. And again, this was done by the McKinsey Company. It was a 10-year survey on how to do this. So what we're going to do as we continue throughout these videos, we're going to talk about some things to help you in your productivity and help you to become more efficient. But let's now start to reschedule your day. Work in periods of 90 minutes to 2 hours a day, and take a break. 30-minute to an hour break, preferably a half-hour break. Just get away from all work-related activities. Don't even watch these videos during that time. Just kind of take a nap and reset. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Have some fun. I like to draw. That's what I like to do. Sometimes I'll go play my guitar and stuff like that. So reset your mind, and then after that, you do that for a half hour, go back to work again. And you'll notice that you'll be very proficient and effective. And then after that, if you want to work some more, take another 30-minute break, and then go back to work again for 2 hours. And keep on doing this throughout your entire workday. And even if you don't believe it at this, I just challenge you to just go ahead and try it. Just try and see what happens. Just try it at least for, a day or a couple of days and see what happens with it. But again, the whole purpose of this video series is because we have $1.5 billion in research of what all the world's most successful businesses have in common. Now, again, on the right-hand side of this video, I also want to encourage you to go check out what we call as the Unfair Advantage Marketing System, where we're giving you what VIP Fitness Marketing charges $14,000 a year, and you can get started with that, get the tools to adapt to today's new economy for about $29. But go check that out, and you'll learn some great stuff in there, get some great tools in there as well. But take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'm having a blast here hanging out at the beach, filming these videos for you, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye now.